Winter for Astros fans, a bit chilly at this point. The only addition for Houston this offseason, catcher Dustin Garneau. While the losses keep piling up, the Astros re-signing Martin Maldonado and Joe Smith, though. And now here with former Astros manager Bo Porter, now an analyst for the Nationals. Good to see you. And Jeremy Booth, our Major League Scout, KHOU 11 baseball analyst.
We see him a lot.
Yeah, we see him a lot. So let me ask you this, Bo. How concerned should Astros fans be at this point with the inactivity this winter?
Well, I think when you look at their core, the core is coming back, and if McCullers is able to come back healthy, I think the rotation is going to be okay. But when you look at the Anaheim Angels and the additions in which they have been able to make, bringing in Joe Maddon, who's a proven big league manager and a World Series winner, they was able to pluck Anthony Rendon away from the Washington Nationals. The American League West is going to get stiffer. I don't think the Astros is going to stay on the sideline the rest of the offseason. I see them making some additions to replace some of the guys in their bullpen and maybe get a rotation piece.
It's been a dynasty in the West, right, for a few years. That said, this isn't a place people want to be right now, and for a lot of good reasons. And we talked about this with culture, right? I mean, there's a lot of culture that has to do with how you treat people and how you approach the game. Guys, we've been talking about this for a couple of years now, you know, and as good as they have been, the core that was left by Bobby Heck and Ed Wade that's been augmented by Jeff Luhnow with some trades and free agent acquisitions and waiver claims was pretty good. But we talked about the window ending anyway in 2020. And for me, the system is empty. I've said this for a while. For me, with Signgate hanging over their head and discipline getting ready to come, and it's coming, I don't want to touch this. I don't know if I got a GM. I don't know if I got a manager. I don't know what I got. And you see the exodus of people that are starting to leave and not come back. Who isn't coming back? Garrett Cole notwithstanding. He wasn't coming back anyway, right? Who isn't coming back? Who doesn't want to stay here? It's not a fun spot to be.
Who wants to follow this doom and gloom?
Well,
anyone?
Jeremy, thank you for honest takes.
What I understood from the organization, if they win Game 7, if they win the World Series, it would have been worth another $60 million. They felt like they were going to be able to re-sign Garrett Cole. They thought they could get into it. Might not have been a realistic expectation.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
But at least they would have been closer in the game. I think the players themselves, they want to prove that they're the real deal. All this controversy, they want to put behind them, whether they participated or didn't participate. They want to go out and show everybody what they can do in 2020. That's how they're motivated.
I think there's a built-in motivation with that, obviously, with all the allegations that are made, whether it's true or whatever they find out. These guys, they want to go out and prove that, hey, we didn't need all that and we didn't do that. We're going to win on our own. These young guys are going to get better. Okay, you got to expect that the lineup is still going to be pretty solid. The thing that concerns me, obviously, is that pitching staff. You got Verlander. How much do you trust Greinke moving forward? Jason and I, we've talked about this. You didn't trust him enough to go.
You have 1.5 starters, in my opinion, right now.
So, and not only the West, like Bo was talking about, the rest of the American League seems to be getting better as well. Guys are leaving here. One going to the Nationals. Will Harris going to the Nationals. So it's going to be tough for them, but I think they're still talent-wise. They still have a lot there in place to make another run.
The position player core. We don't. It's funny you say about whether or not they have something to prove. They didn't need any of this stuff. The position, George Springer's George Springer. Bregman's Bregman. Altuve's Altuve. They didn't need that.
Right.
No one's taken away from their talent. I'm talking about what's hanging over them. If you have people that you would think would come back here, Will Harris would be one that I would think would re-sign in Houston with what he's experienced.
I thought he was coming back, yeah.
The fact that he's gone says something to me.
Well, no, those are very good points. And I'm going to use the Washington Nationals as an example. And you look at, we just re-signed Cabrera. And I remember having a conversation with Cabrera when he became a free agent. The Rangers let him go. And one of the reasons he decided to come to the Washington Nationals is because players talk. They do their due diligence. They get with guys on the phone. Hey, how's the clubhouse? How's the GM? How's the manager? He said he heard nothing but great things about the culture of the Washington Nationals. So to Jeremy's point, that really drives free agency.
I want to know what you guys think about this, because what I'm hearing is because this investigation is going on and on and on, they're finding out other teams are doing similar things. There will not be a suspension of a manager or a general manager. There will be a $10 or $20 million tab you're going to have to pay and a loss of draft picks. What do you guys think about that? What's the latest you guys have heard?
I heard a lot worse.
Yeah.
And I've heard, I've heard expressions like one guy's going to be suspended so long they have to fire him anyway. and I've heard expressions like one guy will never work in the game again, right? Without going back to what we've talked about before, the integrity of this, sign stealing and things like that has been part of the game forever.
It's the
since
how,
junior
right?
high,
So
we're
it's
all
all about the how.
we're way beyond that part of it. I think the way you treat your players has a lot to do with this. I think the way that you go about your business has a lot to do with this. Like George Springer's a good clubhouse guy. Altuve's Altuve. I mean, how could you not want to be around that guy?
Well, they have a great clubhouse. If you ask the guys, I mean, the clubhouse itself is fantastic. I mean, the group that they built there, they got along great. Where the question is above that. Even with the manager, they love A.J. Hinch.
No question.
There's no problems there. I think it's beyond that where the questions lie.
And that has to do with these guys here. At one time, were earning their money. Let's call it that. They were earning their money in a phase of their career where they were establishing themselves in the big leagues and earning their money. Now, boys, they've earned their money, all right? And it's time to pay them. And if their own free agents and Will Harris is a prime example. He's a prime example of a guy that we all thought was going to come back to Houston, and he's in Washington.
Yes, I think money is a driving force, but I'll tell you this.
He's 35 years old, Will Harris.
Yes, it's a driving force, but at the same time, when you think about major league players, comfort level, your family, if you have children, you have a wife, school systems, all of those things play a major role. And players sometimes will take less money to stay in that comfort zone.
Absolutely.
So again, when you start to look at free agency and a lot of the uncertainty that's surrounding the Houston Astros, I think it goes a long way, not only with their current players that are residing in the organization, but also players on the outside asking themselves, do I want to put myself into that situation not knowing what the outcomes are going to be?
And guys, as long as we have Bo Porter here, I want to take a moment because one of his great mentors, Hayden Fry, passed away a couple of weeks ago, former SMU head coach. Of course, you played for him at Iowa. Just give us a note about the late Hayden Fry.
Well, to me, he's one of the best transformational coaches in all of coaching, not just college football, but just coaching in general. He's one of the people that when I started my foundation, he was the first recipient of the Self Foundation Legacy Award, the Torch Award that we give out every year, because he passed his legacy from one generation to the next.
Wow. Bo Porter, you can come back anytime. You're welcome whenever you want. Jeremy, yeah, we'll take you too. No, guys, thanks so much for being here talking baseball. And, of course, you can always catch Jeremy on the Extra Bases podcast, Extra Bases with Bristol and Booth.